just got a delivery from Tilta that's just come from China. It took a few weeks to come, so I'm back order. I decided to order for my DJI Action 2 some case bits and filters from Tilta. I was very impressed with these when I first saw them advertised on the web when I found out about Tilta. So I ordered these just in early January, and they were on back order for a little bit. They come from the States. Well, they were bought in US dollars rather, but they've actually shipped from China as it happens. So I haven't opened these yet, so this is a bit of an unboxing really. So I've got a single camera cage, which is quite a funky one with theory, because I've not seen these in the flesh yet, with USB ports. What else have I got down here? I've got a couple of filters. So is this 2 filters in here or is it 1? This is just 1 filter. Let me turn this the right way around for DJI Action 2. So it's a Tilta filter, CPL. So I decided that I ordered a polarizing filter. I wanted that because I sometimes put my DJI Action through glass. And what else? Decided to get the shock absorbing frame as well. I didn't know, actually, to be honest, if I was going to use that, but when I was looking at the pricing and the conversion, it wasn't that much more expensive to get it versus having to repay for shipping or anything like that. I thought I'd get it. I don't know what there is to say at the minute. I'll unbox it shortly. And I've got the dual camera cage as well. So that's like the upright, full upright version. I'm not sure if you can use this dual bit with the single bit in some way or not, because I think you might lose the USB connection that's on the single when you use this, but that's probably fine because if you're using the dual camera cage, you've got the USB built in anyway, so that's not particularly an issue at all. In fact, it's no issue at all. And I just put to one side, there's another filter here as well that I ordered. So this is the UV filter, it should say UV, yeah, MC UV filter. So I decided to get that. Oh, there's a wipe in there as well. I decided to get the UV filter just if I wanted some protection of the lens particularly. I've got DJI Care Refresh as it happens, so that's not particularly too much of an issue. If I do smash the lens, it's not going to affect me too much. But let's just open some of these. I'm just going to put the camera down because I'm holding this in my hand, so bear with me. So this is a filter, and it's got a little bag in here with a wipe in it as well. Looks nice. Never had any Tilta gear before ever. That feels nice, feels lightweight but feels good quality, and optically probably enhances it actually. It sharpens things up, maybe a bit of a gloss to things. So I will put that on the camera in a little bit, see how that looks. The CPL, let me open this. Let's see how that looks. Excuse my slapdash video. Okay, so it's got a twisting ring on it, not a tilting ring, a turn ring. It does. It's got a bit of a grip on the outside. Feels kind of sharp to the touch, but it's a very, very thin ring and whatnot on the edge. So look, if I put this over my camera lens, see if we can see anything that it's doing. It's taking quite a lot of light away actually as well. yeah, I'll have to try it with a camera. Have a look at the single camera first. I'm gonna have to open the bag on this, so this could be a bit of a pain. I've got a little nice, what's it say on the back? Tilta single camera cage for DJI Action 2. The rest of it's just an address, and then other stuff in Chinese. It's just barcodes and serial numbers and stuff underneath. Nothing else to show on the side. I think some of them else, some of the others did have some icons and whatnot, but this one, alas, didn't. So, open that. It's all nicely packaged, but most companies get packaging really good these days, don't they, I think. So let's just pull out of the box. So there we go. Looks really cool. So what have we got? Not sure what that is. Some sort of key. That'll go in your key ring to turn that around. And this is the main camera base. So that's very light, very light. The picture's not doing this justice, to be honest. This is lovely. That is quality. Couple of M3s. Don't know what you would mount with M3, but that's about 1/4 inch 20, 1/4 inch 20. So you can mount it on its side, horizontal and vertical. The button to press. See, that's just pressing that in there. Pins. USB Type-C port on the bottom. Locking mechanism here. So I guess that looks like it pulls. Not quite sure how it works. So I'll have to have a faff with that, but that looks lovely quality. Really nice. The base of that, so that screws into the bottom of that. Oh, it's the clip. So that's basically if you are to mount, use this with the clip-on base, which you are most, well, depends how you want to use it. I will be personally, I'll be using the clip-on quick release base, the DJI Action base. But I suppose if you didn't want to and you just wanted to connect it directly to like some sort of tripod connection or whatever the others are, you could just do that and use this on its own. The quality on this is absolutely lovely, I have to say. I've just got to work out how to open these up, and I'm not going to do that with my iPhone in my hand, I don't think. Probably goes to show. It does the lock justice. It pulls in. So I'll have to have a look at that a bit further and work that out. Just put that to one side for now. And I will open up the other boxes. So let me open up the dual camera cage. So this one, again, I need to open with a penknife. Effective protection, easy installation, various extensions. Okay, so maybe it's got a lot more mounting points on it as well. Okay, similar again. I've got another key kind of thing, key affair. So that's another base plate as well that's got screwing connection to the base, and the dual clip bit that goes into the DJI Action bases that you get with them, clip-on ones. Again, this is lovely quality. Squeezing that, you can see these like tiny amount of flex. It's solid. I would say that the button at the top of this it looks more solid than the one on the single base. That's like got some sort of like tape over it, which is a bit kind of odd on that one. But this other one, it doesn't have a tape or anything. It's just it's there in its own right. It's different. Again, we've got some locking mechanisms, and we've got two M3s. Don't know what uses M3. I'm not familiar with that. Maybe you are, or maybe it's for the cradle or something. I'm not sure. These corners are certainly for the cage, not the cradle. These corners are certainly for the cage. So yeah, let's put that to one side as well, and then I'll open up the frame as well. effective protection on the side, easy installation, various extensions. Okay, this is much more of a kit. There's a lot more to assemble here. We've got a lot of shock absorbing bits. Let's put it all apart. A load of pins and bits, not sure. An Allen key. GoPro mount base. Let's take the main unit out. Okay. Maybe there's some replacement shock absorbing bits. There's four shock absorbing bits. Maybe they're just replacements. All right. Wow. So this has got a lot more mounting points on it. Let's turn this around the other way. So we've got a couple of M3s and a 1/4 inch, whatever it is at the top. You've got this shock absorbing bit here. So this is actually solid around the sides, but these are the shock absorbing. You can see the squidgy pads. So this has got a shed load of mounting points. If you look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the 1/4 inches. So plenty of options there, and there's a load of M3s as well. I don't really know what that's about, but it looks like we've got some of these are straight holes. There's no thread, but those ones in the middle here have got an M3 thread. So if you use some of them M3, you need to use those middle two that are marked M3, and the others are just purely straight through holes, but they are threaded at either end. So all that's your M3. So maybe that's a standard GoPro connection. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that, but that's obviously those are looking like an M3 connection for mounting it GoPro wise. So here we go. That's how that's going to look in the frame. That's going to look proper funky. It's proper like Robot Wars style or something. I haven't decided how I'm going to use this just yet, but it wasn't a lot more money extra on top to use that. Presumably it may provide more stabilisation, but do you need some stabilisation on something that's got as good a stabilisation as this has anyway? Maybe it will in particularly rough environments help to keep things more stable by absorbing the shock, or maybe it's more of a protection thing. It's certainly going to protect the camera from knocks should it fall off anywhere, or should you be in an accident. You've got a lot more protection around the camera, certainly for the sides. The front and back is certainly going to stick out of the camera for sure. So yeah, I'm just going to stop the video there. I'm going to get my camera and then I might try and put it in something and see how it looks. So I've currently got the small rig case for my camera, which is pretty good. I like it. It obviously saves some scuffs. It's got a quite nice grippy feel to the side, but it doesn't look anywhere near as solid as the Tilta, but it's still remarkably good. I find sometimes connecting the camera two parts together a bit more hard work. Sometimes I've had troubles with the SD card reading, and you can actually see there that's actually not connected right now, to be honest. I don't see why it shouldn't be, but it's latched at one side, but other than that will pull apart. So I'm sure I've got it in the case fine. There's no issue with that. But I have found for sure. Oh, there we go. It's together now. I've certainly found with the small rig one that sometimes I've been having issues with it recognising that I've got an SD card installed. So yeah, but it is a decent enough case. But I'm sure the Tilta's gonna be a lot better. But I'll see how we get on. So I'm just gonna get this out of the case and try it in the Tilta. Right, I've got that in now. That was a right faff. To be honest, it's so tight. It's extremely tight. It's like a perfect fit, like super perfect fit. So you're gonna have to like squeeze it down. I had to try one side in first, then another side, and get it all in properly positioned in the base. It's not something I want to take on and off loads. Maybe you'll get used to it. Maybe there'll be more of a knack to it over time. There we go. That's in. You see it's pretty flush at the back. There's a slight lip before the screen. The screen's not proud, certainly not proud. And the lens is certainly is proud on this side. So whilst in that position, I'm just going to grab a filter. I'll grab this CPL and see how well that seems to work on here. So here we go. There's 2 holes either side, so don't know which way it's intended to go. It's probably totally irrelevant, but there we go. That's just magneted on very nice, and that looks extremely neat and in keeping with the funkiness of it all. Let's try and turn it. So that's I was concerned if that might not turn so well with it being magnetised. I wonder if it might pull off, but that works perfectly fine indeed. It's quite stiff. I'm sure it will smooth out and loosen up, and these just pop off. So it does pop off very easily. If it took a direct knock on the edge, that's not, because there's a lip on the lens, it's not coming straight off. But with a bit of force, it certainly does. It pushes over the lip on the lens. But that's decent. The button actually feels fine. Now it's in here. I know I mentioned that it doesn't look as robust a button, but it absolutely works fine. Can't see an issue with it. I'm just rotating the CPL to see if I can see anything, but I've actually just flipped that off. So you're going to have to be careful. I'm going to have to be careful with these filters to kind of operate them in a 2 hands kind of way, I think, to make sure that they don't fall on the floor, etc. This is the small rig case. I've just pushed that back out of. I'd forgot that really you should open the bottom of these. You should flip this open underneath. That pulls out. If I can get my nail in properly. Okay, I can't. You should pull that out of the way to pull the pins out of the way before pulling the camera out, which I didn't do, so I made it a bit harder for myself. And that's the bottom of the other small rig bit. So I'm going to get this out now. Before I do put this into the bigger cage, I'm going to try the connecting the bottom here into the single camera cage. So it's just going to screw straight into the bottom. And the key. This key, I need to do it two-handed, but that should then mirrorly fit one of the DJI brackets in, which I don't have. I don't have any of those handy right now to show that clipping in place. They're not just around here. But that should then just mount very conveniently to the DJI clip. Notice a slight finishing issue on that bottom bracket, just on that edge there. But it's very, very minor. It's not enough to send back or anything. But I think it's just a little bit in the coating. But yeah, that looks solid. I really like the look of that. It's going to look after the camera very, very well indeed, I'm sure. Okay, so this is the dual camera cage. Should pull and flip back on that side. Yeah, that's releasing. Slide. Oops. Slide, move, come apart. Right. There we go. So that's the base. Again, it's got, if you just see either edge, it's got a notch in either edge for the for that to clip the camera in. I'm just checking which way around that goes. It's going to be that way into there. That's felt to notch into place nicely. So this, as I say, is using the USB on the camera, on the module, the bottom module. So this isn't going to be a waterproof setup like this the main camera would be, but the other bit wouldn't be. But you're going to have long battery life for sure this way, and with some good strong protection around it as well. That seems to clip in place. Still quite strong. It needs a bit of downwards pressure to take up the gap. That's it. And here there's a bit of a gap. Needs a strong squeeze. I'm going to do that with one hand. Yeah, that could be tight because it's new as well, but that's gone in. That's locked in place. How nice does that look? Again, there was a bottom, a mounting bracket for this. So I guess what I could probably do is I've got an option here of mounting this horizontally or vertically as well, which is interesting because everything that you get with the camera is directing you to mount it vertically. So what have I done with that one? So I've got another connection here. See if I can connect it onto the side. I don't know, it should just connect into there, shouldn't it, really, as well? Don't see why not. It's obviously it's going to foul getting this in and out of the camera if I wanted to. Let's have a look. Let's try and tighten that up and see how it looks. Yeah, so I could mount that there and put it on a stand so it's mounted that way. Let's say it'll foul that there unless I turned it sideways. Then if I did that, that would foul the USB port. So, and it's a different thickness either side. So if it's that side, it wouldn't block the USB port. If I turn it the other way, it would block the USB port. But it probably does give an option to mount it on its side using the quick kit. If that would be of benefit, or just underneath, giving some choices, which is quite cool. Right, this is a shock absorbing frame. I've had to look this up on the internet to find out exactly how this goes together, because it's not particularly self-explanatory, I believe. Anyway, you can find an instruction manual on Tilta's website for the camera cage specifically. There's nothing on there for the rest of the kit in itself, but if you open up the manual for that, it has some instructions, at least in Chinese. It was struggling to load for me, to be honest, but there might be something in English as well. But you can tell from the pictures that basically you need to install these, which have some thread lock compound in each corner, and also you need to get these clips, and you need to put these around the circular bit in that gap in there. I haven't quite worked out exactly what that does yet. It must support something. Maybe it supports the camera once it's on. I've not quite worked that out. It does have a spring to it, so it might actually go against the frame of here to actually hold on as well. I'm just going to try and see if I can assemble that now and see how it looks. I think these, once they've got thread lock on, once they're in place, they probably need to stay in place all the way around the camera, ideally. That's it. I'd be surprised if they come off and everything's in place. But yeah, I'll screw them in anyway, see what happens. So this is the screws in place on each corner. When it does, it doesn't quite stand up the same. I don't think they seem to cause things to rest on them. Maybe it's not so much underneath. Maybe that's not true. All sides. It's I think it is slightly proud of the bottom. Certainly proud of the top edge. If you were to stand it up, oh no, that's it. It's standing up on button, so it is still, you can still stand it up, but it doesn't want to stand up so well on the base side underneath, because those two are sticking out further. Just something to note. Right, I'm going to try and put these clips on around the cage and see how we get on. Right, I've read the manual a little bit further, a bit more downloaded, and there's some in English, and basically you can connect the camera with the bolts in the corners of this of the dual cage directly into these shock absorbing mounts without the clips around it. Those are more for high speed driving. It calls them clamps. So I've put 3 in already here. You can see I'm just going to put the 4th in this corner, so I'm just going to try and do that now. It's probably going to be the hardest, being the last. I won't say it's particularly hard though, it just needs a bit of a tweak to get in. Just gonna help when I'm only one-handed. Just put this down. Right, there we go. So that's in. That's really, it's not going to go particularly far. Putting quite a bit of pressure on forwards, reverse, backwards rather, whichever way you want to call it. Straight forwards there. It's going to take quite a bash, if not actually pulling it out, to actually get it out of those. I think it must be just that those clamps, they'll probably stiffen up the shock if there's a hell of a lot of shake, and for a prolonged period of time, it might just help absorb it and hold it in place. But I guess for a lot of stuff, that might be perfectly adequate. I'm sure it's probably going to be harder to get on and off as well with those. So that said, I'm sure you don't want the camera to fly out of here, but it will take some flying out. But it's certainly not as strong as it would be having a fixed mount. But that said, you've got the shock absorbing properties of it as well, and loads of mounting options. And the other thing that I did quickly see it said in the manual as well was that you've got multiple mounts, so you could find a way of actually securing this frame in multiple areas of wherever you're going to secure it, to really make it a really firm hold either side. So that's pretty cool, eh?